Hi guys, this is Elizabeth Kwan from Engedi Grove with Homesteading for Health. Today I am going to make yogurt. I'm going to use this plain yogurt as a starter to make some yogurt from the fresh milk that we've been getting from our cow. This guy is really awesome. I really like this book, so if you guys are interested, it's really great. So I bought this book and I read it just like a book because it's amazing. He does not promote, he does the natural art of cheese making, and it doesn't use packets of enzymes and such. So really natural, really fun read, and very interesting. So I bought this book before I had a cow, and and I really enjoyed it. And I used this book to make some cheeses early on. And I need to get reacquainted with it. But his yogurt recipe is really great. I'm gonna be following his yogurt recipe, and it calls for a lot of nurturing the milk. So you have to stir it constantly in order for it to evaporate more of the liquid and for the texture to be less grainy. So I've had yogurts in the past that are more grainy, and I've definitely had watery yogurts. I've also overheated them, and that's ultra pasteurized, and that's you don't want because it will not make yogurt. It won't. So that's very interesting. So I'm gonna put the milk in here, and I'm gonna start to bring it up to, you want it to cook, you want it to go slowly up to 185, and you wanna keep it at 185 for about a half an hour. So this is a more intensive process of yogurt making, but it is a really yummy process. So I'm doing a large batch. So I probably don't need to start mixing it right now because it's like pretty cool, but very soon, well, I don't know. I think very soon I should start to make sure I'm mixing it frequently and a lot. And he has his yogurt cook for about an hour, a half hour at least. And that just kind of helps, and stirring it helps the evaporation so that it's thicker and the texture. And it helps it not to scorch on the bottom at all. I have done, what I did before was I put a lid on it, but that doesn't allow for evaporation. So a lot of my yogurt, anyway, was more watery. I'm excited about this approach. Okay guys, we're almost to 185. So I've got this thermometer. I just stick it in there. I stick it in there while I'm stirring, but it's just a thermometer from Walmart. But there are ones that make it, that are like hang from the side of the container, so. Yep, 185, you just have to try to maintain it. So I got it up to 185, and I'm almost done with the whole 185 for a half hour thing. Got 6 minutes left on the clock. I've just been constantly stirring. And of course you can, I have, to avoid scorching, like if you don't want to sit here and babysit it, I mean, this is a good time to listen to some like podcast or something, read a book. If you don't want to sit here and stir it, then you could put the top on the yogurt like a, and that helps it not to scorch. And then just get it to temperature 185 is what I've done, and just turn off the heat. And I've done that, but I am very curious to see how his method turns out because yeah, I've had both yogurts that are grainier, and I've had yogurts that are very watery. So I am interested to see how this turns out. Okay, when it cooled down to 116, I transferred them to these jars. That cooled it down even further to about 113. And you don't want it to get any colder than that, about like, you want to try to keep it between 100 and 115. So I'm gonna put it in here, kind of close to this light. Might wrap it, maybe put a towel over it too, and incubate my yogurts. Okay, there they are. I put them in there, and the light is just gonna give it enough warmth to spend the incubation period in there. I put this, I put a teaspoon of the yogurt starter in each of the containers. And they said in the book that actually less is better. So I've made yogurt before and I'm like, well, if it says 2 tablespoons, more yogurt starter will be better. But that's not true. So that was interesting. Okay, I let it set overnight. So we're gonna test to see if it has a nice break. Okay, the jars feel pretty hot. So I'm gonna first see what temperature it's at and if it was getting too hot inside the oven. Okay, I think it was getting too hot in the oven with just the light on. I think it starts to die after 120 for sure. I don't know. I don't know what this yogurt's gonna be like. All right, so there usually isn't so much on top, but because of the, yeah, it's got a nice break. Okay, it's got a nice break. So it's nice and set, but we'll have to cool it down and see how it tastes. Okay, here's the yogurt. I'm not a super plain yogurt person, but I'm just gonna go ahead and see. I think it probably got too hot because it's a little grainy. And it was definitely 220 was a definitely, I mean, what was it, 222? Definitely probably too hot. So this is still very, very edible. But I would say that it could have been better if I had, what I would do next time is put the yogurts far away from the light in the oven as I could. Maybe even cracked, actually if I cracked the oven while the light was on, I can't believe that light produced so much heat. That's a lot of heat. So we know everyone's oven is different. So you have to test it out for yourself. One good test is probably putting a thermometer in there while you have the light on for a while. So see that. I'm gonna flavor it a little bit and add a little bit of honey and some mixed berries and taste it. One thing I noticed right away is that it is a lot thicker. So I'm really excited to try this again and do it a way that is incubating it at an appropriate temperature for the amount of time that it's supposed to be. All right, second try. I put a towel here in the oven and I did not blanket them. And we will see what temperature they're at. Eat some eggies too, Darian. Oops.
Daddy, can you give me water? Because I saw more.
That's pretty perfect. Because you want it between 100 and 115. That's pretty good. All right, and there's another trick to this. If you let it cool first, then it will be smoother as well. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a try. Scoot some bubbles away.
Mommy's water for it?
All right, ready? That's gonna be perfect. That does not have a grainy flavor at all. Smooth and creamy. I wasn't as meticulous at stirring it this time, so it might be a little less thick than the other batch, and I'm still using the other batch. I'm using it for smoothies, and it's great. Throw it in the blender, it's just fine. It has a nice tangy flavor like yogurt, but yeah, this was a success. I definitely do it again like that. It really isn't a big deal if you're running around the kitchen anyway, doing stuff, cleaning up, whatever it is. It's very easy. I think we need more water in that oatmeal, Darian. A little bit. Okay?
Mommy,
How do you like school?
It's not good.
Not good. Just waking up. They both love school. Hold on.
Get doing the other
Do you
things
like
need to be
school?
doing to get ready to leave.
Yeah.
Brushing your hair.
Yes? Good. Okay, it has cooled all the way down, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. This time I'm gonna flavor it with cinnamon and raw honey. Okay. That's good. That's very good.